So I asked an artificial intelligence for its prediction on some sports bets. And you know what? After following the picks, we actually made a profit of 10 times. Sports betting isn't anything new. It's been around for ages, but in the past couple of years, I've seen it has gone a bit more mainstream. You see all these Twitch streamers, or now you may call them kick streamers, dropping hundreds of thousands on sports bets each week and promoting all these different betting sites. Even bigger names like my lil bro Aubrey getting in on the action and dropping millions of dollars on sports like UFC every single month.
Oh my god.
So naturally, I also want a piece of this pie, so maybe I can make it out the hood, but if I'm going in, I need to go in with an edge. Universally, it's accepted that a sports betting is something risky and often leads to losses and you should never try it. But what if that's not the case? You see, while most people think sports betting is purely based on luck, I personally think it has a lot more in common with stock or crypto markets. I mean, there are some people out there who spend hours analyzing different teams, athletes, their track records and odds to devise effective betting strategies. And obviously there are hundreds of these gurus on social media flexing their G-Wagon and claiming they have some secret sauce or insider information to sell you their sports picks. But with AI's growing capabilities in beating humans at games like chess, creating art, and even writing songs faster than us, I'm more inclined to trust a robot over some random Lambo guy on TikTok who is selling subscriptions to a Discord group. Personally, I'm not a big sports fan. I don't follow any sports beside the UFC, so I don't know much about the NBA, NFL, hockey, football, or any other sports. That's why I'm thinking to start with something that I know a bit about. This way, when AI suggests some certain bets, at least I can gauge how accurate they are. So I told ChatGPT all the necessary information about UFC 296's main card, including the fights, odds, and a random picture of Dana White all oiled up. I told ChatGPT that I want to start with only $100, aiming to maximize potential winnings while minimizing the risk of losing everything. And it suggested me a somewhat conservative betting strategy. It gave me 3 bets: $40 on Shakwat, who is unbeaten and the potential win is only $6, then $30 on Alexander Pantoja with the potential win of only $15, and a $30 parlay on Josh Emmett and Leon Edwards, which can bring us a profit of $121. All these bets seem relatively safe. Most of the fighters are favorites, which should theoretically reduce the risk of losing. I personally think 99% we can win the individual bets, and the real gamble is on the parlay. It depends on both Leon Edwards and Josh Emmett, and Josh is an underdog and Leon's just slightly a favorite. Later that night, I got ready to watch the event. The first fight is Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell, and actually this very first fight is part of our 2-play parlay. If we lose this one, our shot at the biggest potential prize of $121 instantly gone in a flash, and we're down $30. Josh Emmett, the guy that we bet on, just knocked out the opponent Bryce Mitchell in the most brutal way. Next fight was Shavkat versus Stephen Thompson Wonderboy, which the bout stopped at the end of the second round. Rear naked choke, the winner, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I kept watching the fights. The robot once again hit the jackpot with the third prediction. Alexander Pantoja won a decision over Brandon Royval, and we are up $15. So I'm currently watching the last fight. If Leon wins, we cash out $121, and our final profit will be $142 overall. The fight is over, but it went to a decision. This is the moment. Let's see what happens.
Last night's bets hit hard. I'ma eat good tonight. If you want to learn how to do it, click the link in my bio. You've King Brokey.
Alright, so I know there's been a little bit of gap, but it was the holiday season, so there weren't any UFC fights to bet on. I mean, there was a fight last weekend, but honestly, I just totally forgot about that. I've been pretty busy lately, especially since our last bets paid off. Let's just say things have changed a bit. No more tap water for me. Alright, but jokes aside, as you know, we pulled off a cool $142, bumping our total to $242 to play with. And I actually found out that I had an extra $20 in my betting account, which makes our grand total $262 for bets. But let's get real for a second. In sports betting or gambling in general, there is one small, tiny, sneaky thing called greed. It starts with a few wins and all of a sudden you feel invincible,
Unbreakable.
thinking your next big bets will hit the jackpot. But there is a catch. That thrill and that dopamine rush is often a trap. More likely than not, going all in results in not just losing the winning, but also losing the initial stake as well. That's why I personally think keeping a level head and playing it safe is crucial. Now, ChatGPT has been on a roll nailing bets after bets, so it's tempting, really tempting to bet the house and follow its predictions blindly. But despite ChatGPT's impressive track record, it's essential to remember that it's not performing any black magic. ChatGPT is simply playing the odds, strategically picking favorites with the occasional underdog to spice up the parlay. It's a calculated approach grounded in math and probabilities and not certainty. And hey, we're talking about the UFC. Anything can happen in that octagon. One small slip can change the entire fight. So even with ChatGPT's solid strategy, I'm not gonna be throwing all my chips in. That being said, I asked ChatGPT to give me some bets for tonight's UFC 297 card, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. The bets are all on the screen. This time I bet with $160, and if all the bet hits, we're gonna be making around $540. All right, so I have a really unexpected news for you guys. How can I say it? We basically lost everything. None of the bets hit the mark this time. I mean, yeah, one of the fighters did win in a parlay, but I guess that's the thing with the parlays. It's all or nothing. It's funny though, because last time we were on a roll, every single bet was spot on, but this time, nothing. It just goes to show that you gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. But thankfully, we still got that $100 to play with, and hopefully we can recover from this huge loss. And remember kids, there is no loser in this game, only quitters. And my mama didn't raise a f***ing quitter. Alright, so we're back to square one with $100 in our pocket. It's a make or break this time. We either lose it all or make a comeback. So here's what I've decided to do. I have decided to bet on some NBA games today. We have 6 games. All of them are starting at the same time. But full on disclaimer, I basically know nothing about the NBA beside the fact that Drake desperately wants to be a basketball wife so bad. Beyond that, I'm not up to date with the teams, the ongoing games, and the tournaments. But here we are, about to dive into NBA betting pretty much blindly with ChatGPT as our wingman. ChatGPT's task was to dig deeper this time, to go beyond the odds and probabilities and look into the recent news, team performances, track records, injuries, and streaks. And yes, ChatGPT 4 has the skills to do that. It can scour the internet for the latest updates. For example, ChatGPT told me how Luka Doncic is still killing it in the court and that the Philadelphia team is struggling with a lot of injuries. So this bet isn't just about playing with the numbers and probabilities, it's way more informed. It's a level of analysis that basically mirrors what human sports analysts do. I mean, it's blending the mathematical side of betting with the real-world updated sports insights. What more can you ask for in a betting strategy? So ChatGPT allocated $80 of my stash on various straight bets. Some of them are spread bets, others are on the money line. I'm not entirely sure what even a spread bet is, but I'm just rolling with it. And interestingly, it advised against betting on certain games like the Golden State Warriors due to the high level of uncertainty. The remaining $20 is put on a parlay bets, a combo of all these straight bets in one. Now, obviously, I'm not claiming to be a sports betting guru or an NBA expert, but the strategy that ChatGPT just laid out seems pretty interesting and comprehensive. I mean, sure, I know out there are some wild bets on some hyper-specific scenarios like a certain player score at a certain time, but those bets are usually so risky and unrealistic, and if you want something more grounded and well thought, I don't think you can find anything better than this. This makes me wonder what those self-proclaimed sports betting experts are doing differently, or if their strategy is even better than this AI-assisted method. And hey, I low-key just gave you an unethical business idea. Start a TikTok page, brand yourself as a millionaire sport betting expert, and then just sell these ChatGPT betting strategies. Please don't do that. Or if you ever did, don't let anyone know where the idea came from, okay? Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. If you've noticed, I'm in a really good mood. You might be wondering, why? Well, we actually lost $30, but I'm not disappointed. It's cool. Let me explain. ChatGPT actually nailed all the winners, but it messed up these spread bets. Stupid spread bets. If we went with the moneyline bets instead for every single bet, we could have made around $300. And hear me out, there are more NBA games today. What's wrong with the NBA schedule? Why there is like 3 different games every single hour? Like, who watches all these games? Not me. Whatever, that's not the point. So there are more NBA games today and we've got $70 left. So this time I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to only choose the winners. Let's keep it simple. No more stupid spread bets. Nobody wants to see that. And I'll circle back tomorrow with the news. It's either gonna be like, oh wow, we made $300. AI is so powerful, ChatGPT. Or it's gonna be like, oh, we actually lost the money, but it was worth the shot. A fun experience, what a journey. Anyway, so see you tomorrow then. It's weird because we didn't lose anything, but we didn't win anything as well. I mean, we did technically lost 63 cents. Don't ask me how, I don't know what I did, but since it's not that much, I guess we have no other choice than trying it again to come to a clear conclusion. So I would say with the $70 left, let's roll with the same game plan and bet one more time. Just one more time, I promise. I'm not developing a gambling addiction, it's just for the content. Subscribe, please. Alright, so first of all, betting on sports like the NBA feels much safer than sports like UFC. It's not that you're sure to win with the NBA, but it feels like there is less chance of losing everything. Because think about it, in the UFC you're betting on one single individual. And let's say in that day that person has gonorrhea. Your bet's gone. You don't want to bet on a guy who has gonorrhea, right? But with the NBA, you have the whole team. So even if one player is not feeling good, the others can make up for it. And one key thing that I gotta mention, if you're using ChatGPT for betting tips, make sure to tell it to search the web and pull up the latest stats and news and whatever else it can find. If you don't, it'll just crunch numbers and play the odds game, which is cool and all, but you're not getting the full picture. Anyway, here's the deal. So after 5 rounds of betting, 2 on the UFC, 3 on the NBA, here's how it all played out. First time in the UFC, we cashed in an extra $140. Second time, not so lucky, we lost $160. Then moved on to the NBA and the losses were smaller. First time down $30, then just 60 cents for the second time. And for the last bet, we only had $70, which we went all in. And the moment that we've been waiting for, we actually... This is not a slow-mo. Sorry. We made $80.
Come and bring out the cappuccino!
End of the day, the wallet's sitting at $150, which is $30 more than what I initially deposited from my own pocket. And I guess if we do the same exact thing one more time, just one more time, we can make